Like a Chris Bishop.
I present a legislative statement on the Fast Track Approvals Amendment Bill.
That legislative statement is published under the authority of the House and can be found on the parliamentary website. I will call the member in a minute. Sorry.
Hey, everyone's hugging my cuzzy over there.
Thank you.
Done. Goodness me.
Yeah, thanks, Grant. That's good. Go outside.
It was after the maiden speech.
I call on the Honourable
yes.
Chris Bishop.
I move that the amendment, the Fast Track Approvals Amendment Bill be now read a first time. I nominate the Environment Select Committee to consider the bill. Mr Speaker, it's very pleasing to introduce this amendment bill for the Fast Track Approvals Act to promote supermarket competition and to improve the application process so it's more efficient for all fast track projects. Mr Speaker, the government's making this change to make it clear to the grocery retail sector that projects that will improve competition are within fast track scope. There's a range of technical and machinery amendments are also aimed at speeding up the application process by up to 6 weeks or potentially more in some cases. The aim of the changes is to cumulatively reduce timeframes, lower costs, improve flexibility and clarify operational matters. Mr Speaker, Fast Track was designed to offer a streamlined alternative to convoluted RMA-based consenting processes and also to establish a one-stop shop regime. That means large or complex projects can now make a simple application for multiple consents, permissions and approvals. There's been a steady stream of applications since February this year and several large projects gaining final approval from independent expert panels. There is real appetite for the fast track approvals process. The government's very proud about how it's working. It's worth noting it's not the first time the Parliament has authorised a fast track regime. The previous government had its own version. We think our version's better, but two versions, okay. Well, we think our version's triply better than the member reading out her version. We are happy with how it's going so far, but our view is that there are a range of process-based improvements that can be made. We've consulted with applicants, agencies, councils and actually the expert or the panel conveners themselves around improving the operational efficiency of the Act. In terms of the grocery retail developments, as I think all members know, we're focused on creating the conditions for enduring improvements to grocery competition to benefit consumers. Grocery retailers are not excluded from fast track applications, but we have heard that potential grocery retailers are not confident their projects will be eligible. So the bill includes proposals to remove barriers to entry and expansion of new competitors by making it easier to get consents for new supermarkets. The changes clarify that improving regional or national competition in the grocery industry is a valid factor the Minister for Infrastructure can consider in referral decisions, and expert panels must have regard to the Minister's reasons for referring an application, including those relating to grocery competition. The bill proposes a general power to issue government policy statements, including on grocery retail competition, which the Minister for Infrastructure and expert panels must consider when making project decisions. We're also making changes to the eligibility criteria for the multi-proof approvals regime to support both grocery developments and developments in other sectors with more streamlined building consenting. Timeframes for approvals will vary case by case, but we do expect the streamlined approach. Grocery developments could obtain necessary consents and resource management approvals in a year or less after formal lodgement. The Commerce Commission's recent annual grocery report tells us it takes, on average, 18 months and $1 million to obtain consent for a new supermarket, which, when you think about it, is totally nuts. Well, we're fixing that. Watch this space. But 18 months and $1 million for a new supermarket, I think, is frankly nuts, Mr. Speaker, and indefensible. In relation to the technical and machinery improvements, the description of this undersells the fact the combined effect will be to make fast track more operationally and procedurally efficient. Our estimates are it will take at least 6 weeks, potentially more, out of the current statutorily prescribed processes. The referral process for projects approved for referral currently takes on average of 71 working days, and the substantive stage takes on average of 130 working days. Process improvements could reduce this further. It's probably not the right place to give a comprehensive overview of the amendments here. They are summarised in the legislative statement and in the bill itself. But I would summarise their intent, Mr. Speaker, by saying the aim is to reduce process time and complexities. So, for example, the amendments will allow part of the process to occur in parallel where that makes sense. Will also give applicants and other users more clarity on what information is required at various application stages. They will allow applicants to address information gaps during the earlier stages of the process. The amendments include proposals to reduce the scope for projects to be rejected on procedural grounds if part of the application is withdrawn. It proposes applications can be granted conditionally without planned future infrastructure, such as roads and services being completed. And proposals in the bill will clarify that Schedule 2 listed projects are nationally or regionally significant. This will allow expert panels to focus on the adverse impacts and whether or not they outweigh the project's benefits and reduce unnecessary litigation. Several technical amendments are proposed by MFE, Ministry of the Environment, Department of Conservation and MB, which include correcting lapsing rules, aligning reporting obligations and resolving inconsistencies in a variety of provisions. And we are also fixing the issue around the Stellar Passage development at the Port of Tauranga to make sure that that project description is rightly aligned with what the project is, following a recent High Court case. Amendments that do not require system changes, such as the grocery competition-related amendments, will come into force on the day after the date of royal assent. Amendments that require post-enactment updates to systems and processes could be in place by February 26 to allow time for implementation. Mr Speaker, I'd like to thank the government agencies involved in drafting the bill for their continued efforts. I also want to thank all those who engaged in a bit of a process we ran to suggest improvements for engaging or using fast track. This is a relatively straightforward, simple amendment bill that we want to get through the House so that we can make those machinery and technical improvements to make sure that people can continue to benefit from the great work that Fast Track is doing. Commend the bill to the House.
So I want to figure out where the hell this lollies are coming from?
Oh, fuck the lollies. It's just a box that the backbenchers share around each other, and I go,
Oh, no, because it's quite funny, because when they mentioned fruit bursts, I could give them these.
Yeah, no, they've got a box, they've got a full box there. It's like a Tupperware container that they share around. Usually on the backbenchers, so it's full of lolly scramble stuff and fruit bursts and stuff. And I always said it's funny because Nicola Willis is always talking about how there's no lolly scramble here, and it's like, I found the lolly scramble box. What are you talking about? But anyways, look, I may be tired and I may have drunk too much again, but here's the thing. Here's what I spotted. Nowhere does Chris Bishop say, explain or present an argument, how will fast tracking reduce prices? Where? I've read the findings from the competition market study in supermarkets. I put that in the chat. Now I'm going to refer to my notes. There is no formal fast track recommendation. Nowhere in that report, okay? It doesn't even say that fast tracking is going to reduce the prices. The report's entire approach is based on a form of prioritized implementation. The Commission advocates for promptly enacting the main suite of recommendations to improve competition conditions. So nowhere does it mention fast tracking, but it says if after 3 years is per recommendation 14. So if you, I'm going to put this in the chat now so people can look at recommendation 14. Everyone's talking about lollies in the chat. Stop it.
Sorry, and Pascal's does still make the wine comes, as I've just found out.
Stop it. My Ritlin's run out and you're distracting me. Okay. Then the government should consider more direct and invasive interventions like divestiture or government-sponsored entry. So, hey, look, they're saying that, after a couple of years, if our recommendations don't really work, maybe you should look at getting a state-run supermarket. Maybe that will help with the prices and the competition.
Well, I mean, it's been suggested that we get a state-run insurance provider. I mean, we used to have one as a result of the Napier earthquake known as called State Insurance, but was sold off to a company known as AIG in the 90s or the 2000s.
I love the fact that you know random stuff that no one knows what you're referring to.
But everyone knows the brand State Insurance.
Oh, yes, everyone knows that.
Yeah, and the reason why
old people know
State
that.
Insurance started was the 1931 Napier earthquake.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
As I say, random piece of fact that actually has a bit of logic behind it.
It's got logic behind it. I just don't know what you're referencing half the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's also what later brought in what we know was known as the Earthquake and Wartime Commission.
Geez, now that's a little factoid I don't have in the back of my brain.
Oh, yes, but the original EQC had wartime on the end of it because it was born out of World War II.
Yes, I love your little random factoids. They're great.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get back to the Supermarket Commission report, and let's talk about the problem of fast tracking. So the potential problem with fast tracking is that a major grocery retailer, and I'm sure Kiwi Skirt in the chat can correct me on this, but the logic here is that a major grocery retailer, because Chris Bishop didn't state what supermarket companies are being fast tracked.
Yeah.
So they could apply to have a new supermarket declared a fast track project. And if approved, it would be built quickly, potentially cementing its market position in a new area, making it harder for new startup local supermarkets to find viable sites. Therefore, reinforcing the existing duopoly the grocery report sought to weaken.
Now, here's a great example. Now, would Plenty Food, which is opening up an Upper Hutt, be classed as eligible for fast track consent?
Good question. Are they being fast tracked? Because I know there's two routes.
So.
I know there's two routes to being fast tracked.
I don't think Plenty Foods were benefited from Fast Track at all.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Quincy Feuds is just basically, it's a brand to compete in Upper Hutt. The company also owns I think Super Save in Nainai.
Right. Okay.
And,
So
and Nainai is what would be termed a New Zealand version of Food Desert, because Nainai does not actually have a foodstuffs or a progressive supermarket brand in the community.
yeah. So this is a problem with the fast tracking process, right?
Yeah.
The government has already made up a list of specific projects, right? It's in their bill. They can skip the normal line and use the fast lane.
Yeah.
The special panel decides instead of your local council or multiple agencies. So a small, specially appointed group of experts, a panel, makes the final decision.
Yep.
How resilient or how resistant are they against lobbying? I don't know. But I do know that under the fast tracking, right, limited public say. And I did post you a clip from the Current Affair about fast tracking in Australia. Farmers are finding that right now. They do not have the power to veto a mining project in their backyard.
Yeah. Shall we sit there and see the Current Affairs thing from Australia?
Yeah, because it's a lot better than policy wonkery. People need to see it.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to our Facebook